First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Governor Ron DeSantis was there to meet President Trump as he flew into Miami this morning. The pair led a roundtable discussion on Florida's controversial new detention center. The detention center dubbed Alligator Alcatraz opened today in the Florida Everglades. This is WUFT First at 5. I am Candy Fontana Verde.
And I'm Maria Rodriguez. In a matter of days, workers have transformed the Day Collier Training and Transition Airport from a runway into a temporary tent city. And as Brian Abel reports, the site can house up to 5,000 migrants as they await for deportation.
The prison meant to house migrant detainees before deportation. Greeting the president in Florida, protesters, some displeased with the facility's resurrection in an area adjacent to lands belonging to an indigenous tribe. Others disgruntled over potential environmental impacts, while some dissatisfied with what they call inhumane conditions for the people who will be kept there. However, Trump, alongside Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, saying the facility could act as a motivator for self-deportation.
These people come in here, they want to go home, and they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in a maximum security.
They don't have to come here. If they self-deport and go home, they can come back legally. We will let them come back legally.
And there is a lot of self-deportation.
Yes, but if you wait and we bring you to this facility, you don't ever get to come back to America. You don't get the chance to come back and be an American again.
The facility can house about 5,000 people inside. It's estimated to cost about $450 million a year to operate, and the first inmates could be inside as early as Wednesday morning. At the White House, Brian Abel reporting.
It's another day of storms for North Central Florida, all while a disturbance down south could dampen the holiday weekend. UF forecaster Reuben is live in the weather studio tracking both rainmakers.
Taking a look at our current storm tracker, I did want to look at Dixie County and Cross City. The light green indicates light rainfall in their area, but let's put an emphasis on the south part of Alachua County. Earlier, they were seeing more heavier rain, the red indicating heavier rain and storms in their area, but it seems to have moved more northward towards Stark, Florida, mostly leaving Gainesville unaffected. Taking a look at tonight, the chances of storms and showers are expected to decrease. As you can see, 30%, 20%, but look at 4 in the morning. It is still a 20% chance. The showers and the temperature are expected to decrease. Coming up, we'll have more about downpours for this week. It is expected to be cooling down. The temperature is expected to drop as this week goes on, and we'll keep our eye on the tropics.
A new law in effect today limits FWC's ability to stop and search Floridans' boats. The Border Freedom Act will prevent law enforcement from pulling over vessels without probable cause or a suspected violation. Before, officers were allowed to conduct inspections. This sometimes led to action beyond safety compliance. The governor hopes this will ease tensions between law enforcement and boaters and keep Florida the boating capital. And sticking with state political news, a slew of Florida laws went into effect today. They cover everything from animal abuse to education, state parks, and voting. We have put a list of the more well-known laws on WUFT.org. Just scan the QR code on your screen.
This morning, Alachua County and Newberry fire crews responded to a major fire at a workshop/barn just north of Newberry on 62nd Avenue. Firefighters tell me the fire started around 5 a.m. and firefighters were on the scene until almost 11. The building had heavy equipment and vehicles inside. Witnesses reported hearing explosions from propane tanks that burst during the fire. The fire is now out. No injuries have been reported, and there is no word on what sparked the flames.
Deputies in Marion County need help tracking down suspects who have been breaking into and stealing several cars in Citra. Deputies released the surveillance video of the suspects on their Facebook page today. They say they have broken into half a dozen vehicles and a home of Northwest 9th Avenue. They say the pair also stole several guns, multiple dirt bikes, and ATVs. If you have any information about the thefts or the suspects, call the Marion County Sheriff's Office. The Levy County Sheriff's Office is working to put a stop to sex offender violations. After a month-long operation identifying no-compliant sex offenders residing in Levy County, 7 arrests were made, and 3 ongoing active investigators resulted in arrest warrants being issued. To report a possible sex offender violation, contact the Levy County Sheriff's Office.
The Gainesville Police Department is encouraging people to celebrate July 4th without drinking and driving. GPD says there are a couple of ways to stay safe over the holiday. It's encouraging people to have a designated driver or use a ride-share service if they plan to drink. It also recommends people prevent their impaired friends from driving. GPD will conduct a DUI enforcement detail on July 5th from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Coming up next, when First at 5 returns, Republicans celebrate passing the president's spending bill ahead of the 4th of July holiday, while Democrats say their tactics only stalled in the inevitable.
Plus, a record number of travelers are taking to the roads and skies this holiday weekend. How severe weather is already keeping those travelers grounded. We're back here after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
President Trump's signature tax cuts and spending bill is one step closer to becoming law. After pulling an all-nighter, Senate Republicans passed the so-called Big Beautiful Bill without a vote to spare. And as Monica Alba reports, Democrats warn Republicans will pay a heavy price at the ballot box.
After 27 hours and 48 amendment votes, the most in history, Senate Republicans crossed the finish line.
The bill as amended is passed.
President Trump's signature tax cuts and spending bill passing by just one vote, a tiebreaker cast by Vice President J.D. Vance after 3 Republican senators voted no. Republican leaders spent the night tweaking the so-called Big Beautiful Bill to win just enough support to get it passed without Democratic votes.
And since we took office in January, Republicans have been laser-focused on achieving the bill before us today. And now we're here.
Longtime holdout Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska ultimately voted yes, ensuring the bill's passage.
I tried to take care of Alaska's interests, but I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that.
The bill extends President Trump's 2017 tax cuts and cuts Medicaid and food stamp programs to increase military spending and border enforcement. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates it will increase the national debt by more than $3 trillion and could strip health insurance from 12 million people.
This is not what the country needs. This is not what the American people want.
After leaving his government post a month ago, billionaire Elon Musk is back, threatening primary challenges for Republican lawmakers who voted for the president's bill, arguing it spends too much. Today, President Trump fired back.
We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Musk replying he won't escalate his conflict with the president for now. President Trump said he wants to sign the spending bill on the 4th of July, and House leadership has indicated they're going to vote on the Senate version tomorrow to try to meet that deadline. But passage is not guaranteed. Some Republican House members are concerned about how much this bill is projected to increase the national debt. Monica Alba, NBC News, Washington.
A record number of people are expected to travel for the July 4th holiday, but bad weather is putting a damper on some flyers' plans. The WUFT weather team says thunderstorms are delaying flights across the country. They are impacting some of the largest airports in the U.S., like Newark and Philadelphia, and travelers are feeling the effects of the bad weather. AAA expects 72 million people in the air and on the roads this week.
Part of the reason for that is because July 4th falls on a Friday this year, so that gives people that long holiday. If you're leaving after 11 a.m. or after lunchtime, you are very likely going to sit in traffic.
Thunderstorms are more likely in the afternoons, causing those delays. Spark says it's a good idea to schedule travel for the morning hours.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Both the City of Gainesville and Ocala will close its city offices Friday for 4th of July. This won't impact garbage or recycling pickup for either city, and buses won't be running in observance of the holiday.
Attendees of Ocala's 4th of July celebration can now stay up to date on the event. Patriotic Skies have created a link for individuals to receive important text messages about changes to the event. Once individuals are signed up using the link on your screen, they will get news about any weather delays and schedule changes to this year's event. The Patriotic Skies event will start Friday night at 6 and run until 10 p.m. It will include live music, food trucks, and a kids' zone. The fireworks are set to go off at 9:30. Ocala City Leader says this free event is the perfect way to celebrate America's birthday. So, what do you have planned for the 4th of July? I have a trip. Hopefully the weather is nice.
Okay, Candy. Well, I'm going to the fanfare and fireworks. Hopefully it won't rain. But what do you think about that, Reuben?
So for Thursday, it doesn't look like it's not going to be too bad, but for fanfare and fireworks specifically, I would recommend for anyone who does plan on going to bring an umbrella and poncho. But let's take a current look at our storm tracker. So for the most part, I wanted to put an emphasis on the more so Dixie County and the southern part of Alachua County. As you see, there was storms and showers that was affecting the southern part of Alachua County, but it is moving more northward towards Stark, Florida. Gainesville has remained mostly unaffected. We're going to look more closely. Southern part of Alachua County has pretty much cleared up, and although a little bit has touched the city of Gainesville, it's mostly moved towards Stark, Florida. Taking a look on campus, the temperature is only 79 degrees outside. That is because of the showers that are around the Gainesville, Florida area. Now, taking a look at our temperatures, for the most part, we're not the only ones who are seeing this low temperatures. 82 for Gainesville, 85 for Bronson, 82 for High Springs. This is because of the showers and storms that have been passing. 81 for Stark, Florida. They are going to see some showers that will be affecting their temperature. Going into tonight, 6 p.m. evening time, there is a chance of showers and storms that could be affecting us. But as the night goes on, the chances of showers are expected to decrease and clouds are to be expected. Going into our future cast, so for the most part, this tonight, it isn't going to be much showers, maybe scattered in your area. Morning time and the lunchtime, that is when showers are expected to pick up. It will be hitting us all throughout the day. North Central Florida will be seeing some level of showers and storms from Tuesday up until Thursday. But let's go into this weekend. The weekend will be affected by this front. This front is expected to move more southward towards Florida. They are bringing baggage. They are bringing showers and storms with them as we go all throughout the weekend. Now, the tropical outlook, there is a 30% chance of a developing storm that could be getting a potential name over the next course of these next 7 days. Looking at Wednesday morning, 70 degrees, but look at this, 40% chance of rain. Wednesday, the highs are low. The highs are high 80, but they shouldn't be getting too high in temperature because of the showers we expect. Quickly touching on the fanfare and fireworks, we do recommend that you bring a poncho as there is a chance that showers and storms could be affecting them all throughout that event. Now, let's take a quick look at our 7-day outlook. So for the most part, let's emphasize 4th of July. I do have some bad news because there is showers and storms expecting on that day. But for the most part, you're going to be seeing high 80s, low 90-degree temperatures, and every day there's a chance of rain.
Coming up in sports, a former Gator takes on Wimbledon this week. And after making it to the NFL, another Gator and Eastside High alumni made his way back to Gainesville recently to support his community. More on this after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
The NFL 2025 season goes underway in 68 days, and for former Gator Anthony Richardson, it's a third season trying to help Indianapolis return to league prominence. Recently, the Colts quarterback returned to Gainesville to give back to the community that raised him. From Friday Night Lights to NFL Sundays, Anthony Richardson's journey has come full circle here at Citizens Field. The Indianapolis Colts quarterback made a special return to Gainesville, hosting a free youth football camp. Dozens of young athletes showed up, eager to learn from Eastside High and University of Florida alum who once stood exactly where they are now.
You know, I grew up in this city. You know, I gained a lot of love, you know, from just everybody in this city. So it just feels right to come back and pay it forward, especially to the younger generation, because they're going to be better than us one day, so why not do it?
Parents of players feel this camp will motivate their kids to work hard and have fun doing it.
I think it's great motivation to see these kids out here having a good time, and it's definitely a great thing to see Anthony Richardson to put back on for the city.
Richardson, an Eastside alumni, made an impact on his past teachers, as well as the Eastside principal who came to support his current students, as well as his past student, Anthony.
I want my Eastside students to know that, hey, if Anthony did it, I can do it. And the main fact that he's tangible and he's visible and they see that, they can believe that, and that's how dreams come true.
With the 4th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Anthony Richardson.
Richardson went 4th overall in the 2023 NFL Draft, selected by the Indianapolis Colts, with his family by his side. Says his goal is to give back and inspire the next generation to never give up, and is grateful for the support and love he once had growing up in Eastside Gainesville.
You know, I just try to find any little way I can help, you know, whether that's just going to talk to a kid or just giving back to my old high school, you know, giving back old, like new uniforms, new helmets, just anything I can do just to help the generation be better than our generation. So, you know, any way I can find a way possible to do, I just try my best to do so.
Gator basketball fans, EA Sports is bringing back the madness all year long. If you've ever dreamt of getting on the court with the Gators, EA Sports is giving you that chance in 2028. The sports video game giant announced Monday on social media they're bringing back their college basketball game for the first time in over a decade. The announcement comes on the heels of their widely successful college football game, which returned last year. EA looks to capitalize on NIL deals and feature real college players in the game. The defending national champs Florida men's basketball released details of their 2025 and 2026 non-conference schedule today. The Gators open the season on November 3rd in Las Vegas versus Arizona, before returning to Gainesville for their home opener November 6th against University of North Florida, followed by the annual rivalry game versus FSU on November 11th. Then we'll be returning back to the O-Dome to take on Merrimack Friday, November 21st. The night before, Gators football takes on Tennessee in the Swamp. And before we go, it's July 1st, so happy Bobby Bonilla Day. The former New York Mets star gets his annual $1.1 million check today and has been receiving payments from the Mets since 2011 and will receive them every July 1st for the next decade. He hasn't played in the majors since 1999. And that's it for sports. Reuben has one last look at your forecast after the break.
Let's take one last look at our 7-day outlook. For the most part, you're going to be seeing high 80s, low 90 degrees temperature all throughout the week. Showers and storms is to be expected. 4th of July, it is expected to be some rain, but for the most part, this week should be rainy.
Thanks for joining us and have a good night.